Welcome to Skytech-Lens. International relations are often shaped by the personalities of those at the helm. In the summer of 2025, a trade dispute became a clash of leadership styles. US President Donald Trump, the disruptor, versus Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, the calm strategist. Trump wielded tariffs as a weapon, demanding not just economic concessions but changes to Canada's foreign policy and identity. The conflict was public, loud, and designed to force Canada's hand. In Ottawa, Carney's government responded with quiet resolve, refusing to engage in rhetorical battles or compromise on sovereignty. Canada's strategy was deliberate, rely on diplomacy, legal agreements, and a long-term vision for resilience. The world watched as two philosophies collided: impulsive aggression versus strategic patience. The outcome would reveal whether true power lies in loud threats or in steadfast principle. President Trump's approach was direct and theatrical. Missing his deadline for a new trade deal, he slapped a sweeping 35% tariff on Canadian goods outside the USMCA, linking it to Canada's foreign policy. Trump bypassed diplomacy, taking to social media with threats and accusations, aiming to intimidate Canada and rally his base. The White House painted Canada as unreliable, even accusing it of cozying up to China and failing to stop fentanyl. Claims swiftly rebutted by Canadian officials. Trump's strategy: create crisis, make maximalist demands, and control the narrative. He expected Canada to fold under pressure, trading its principles for economic relief. It was a gamble, one that assumed Canada's resolve would break. Canada's response was calm and unified. Prime Minister Carney and his cabinet refused to be drawn into public sparring, instead emphasizing that Canadian sovereignty was non-negotiable. Ministers spoke with one voice, focusing on principles and the rule of law, not personal attacks. This denied Trump the escalating conflict he sought, reframing the dispute as a matter of national principle. Behind the scenes, Canada relied on the protections of the USMCA, knowing most trade was shielded from tariffs. The government reassured Canadians, projecting control and preparedness. Carney's steady leadership prevented panic and political pressure to capitulate. By refusing provocation, Canada maintained control of its response. True strength, they showed, lies in steady resolve, not reactive bluster. The USMCA was Canada's shield. Trump's 35% tariff sounded dramatic, but nearly 90% of Canadian exports were protected by the agreement. Years of tough negotiation had secured clear rules and robust dispute mechanisms, specifically to prevent arbitrary protectionism. The foresight of Canadian diplomats paid off. The economic shock was limited, with key sectors like autos and agriculture largely insulated. Panic never materialized. Businesses continued with confidence. The USMCA's stability contrasted sharply with Trump's unpredictability. International treaties, when well crafted, can constrain even the most powerful. Canada's reliance on law, not bluster, was vindicated. While Canada stayed steady, the US economy faltered. Trump's tariffs backfired, stalling business investment and job growth. Job reports were revised downward, erasing hundreds of thousands of positions. Instead of addressing the slowdown, Trump attacked the Bureau of Labor Statistics, firing its director and alleging bias. He also pressured the Federal Reserve to cut rates, threatening its independence. The result: economic instability and eroded trust in U.S. institutions. The administration's self-inflicted wounds deepened the crisis. The trade war hurt the U.S. more than its intended target. Canada turned crisis into opportunity. The Carney government accelerated efforts to reduce reliance on the U.S., investing in key industries and fostering innovation at home. Strategic support for manufacturing, steel, and aluminum aimed to build a stronger, more resilient economy. Abroad, Canada deepened ties with Mexico, reinforcing the USMCA and exploring new cooperation. Trade diversification extended to Europe and the Pacific, leveraging agreements like CETA and CPTPP. Canada's message: open for business, reliable, and committed to rules-based trade. This proactive diplomacy enhanced Canada's global standing. While the US appeared unpredictable, Canada became a model of stability. The 2025 trade conflict was a study in leadership contrasts. Trump's style was theatrical and confrontational, using social media to create crisis and demand concessions. He saw international relations as zero-sum, attacking institutions when they didn't serve his interests. His focus was on short-term wins and personal vindication. Carney, by contrast, embodied strategic prudence, analytical, disciplined, and patient. His government refused to be baited, communicating calmly and focusing on sovereignty and the rule of law. Carney trusted in institutions, alliances, and the power of preparation. His approach was collaborative, building partnerships and reinforcing Canada's reputation. The conflict showed that quiet strength and long-term vision can outmatch loud threats. In a complex world, the steady hand often prevails. Beyond tariffs and tweets, Canada played a sophisticated diplomatic game. Strengthening its alliance with Mexico, Canada prepared for any USMCA review, ensuring a united front. The August 2025 meeting with Mexican President Sheinbaum signaled North American solidarity, pointedly excluding the US. This coalition building shifted the power dynamic, making it a trilateral issue rather than a bilateral one. Canada's maneuvering sent a clear message: it would not be isolated. The strategy enhanced Canada's reputation as a champion of stability and international law. Allies in Europe and Asia took note, seeing Canada as a dependable partner. By investing in alliances, Canada built long-term diplomatic capital. The 2025 trade conflict was more than a tariff dispute. It was a test of power and principle. Trump's aggressive tactics backfired, harming the US economy and isolating America. Canada's victory was quiet but profound. Strategic patience, preparation, and unwavering sovereignty prevailed. Carney's government showed that a nation need not match bluster with bluster to win. By relying on law, alliances, and calm resolve, Canada emerged stronger and more respected. The episode proved that in the modern world, true power comes from reliability and principle, not volume. The future of US-Canada relations will be shaped by this lesson. Thanks for watching a video. Subscribe the channel now for more updates. Thanks.